How do you set up SSH agent forwarding so that you do not have to copy the key every time you log in? Here's how you accomplish this. Go to your PuTTY configuration, go to the category SSH, greater than auth, enable SSH agent forwarding to your instance PuTTY configuration. 25. What are Solaris and X operating systems? Are they available with AWS? Solaris is an operating system that uses Spark processor architecture, which is not supported by the public cloud currently. X is an operating system that runs only on Power CPU and not on Intel, which means that you cannot create X instances in EC2. Since both the operating systems have their limitations, they are not currently available with AWS. 26. How do you configure CloudWatch to recover an EC2 instance? Here's how you can configure them. Create an alarm using Amazon CloudWatch. In the alarm, go to Define Alarm, greater than Actions tab, choose Recover this instance option, create alarm. 27. What are the common types of AMI designs? There are many types of AMIs, but some of the common AMIs are Fully Baked AMI, Just Enough Baked AMI, JOS AMI, Hybrid AMI. 28. What are key pairs in AWS? The key pairs are password-protected login credentials for the virtual machines that are used to prove our identity while connecting the Amazon EC2 instances. The key pairs are made up of a private key and a public key, which lets us connect to the instances. Take your career to the clouds with our Cloud Architect Masters program. Enroll now and become an expert in cloud architecture and technologies. AWS interview questions for S3. 29. What is Amazon S3? S3 is short for Simple Storage Service, and Amazon S3 is the most supported storage platform available. S3 is object storage that can store and retrieve any amount of data from anywhere. Despite that versatility, it is practically unlimited as well as cost-effective because it is storage available on demand. In addition to these benefits, it offers unprecedented levels of durability and availability. Amazon S3 helps to manage data for cost optimization, access control, and compliance. 30. How can you recover/log in to an EC2 instance for which you have lost the key? Follow the steps provided below to recover an EC2 instance if you have lost the key. Verify that the EC2 config service is running. Detach the root volume for the instance. Attach the volume to a temporary instance. Modify the configuration file. Restart the original instance. 31. What are some critical differences between AWS S3 and EBS? Here are some differences between AWS S3 and EBS. Feature differences. 32. How do you allow a user to gain access to a specific bucket? You need to follow the 4 steps provided below to allow access. They are: categorize your instances. Define how authorized users can manage specific servers. Lock down your tags. Attach your policies to IAM users. 33. How can you monitor S3 cross-region replication to ensure consistency without actually checking the bucket? Follow the flow diagram provided below to monitor S3 cross-region replication. S3 cross-region. 34. What is Snowball? To transfer terabytes of data outside and inside of the AWS environment, a small application called Snowball is used. Data transferring using Snowball is done in the following ways. A job is created. The Snowball application is connected. The data is copied into the Snowball application. Data is then moved to the AWS S3. 35. What are the storage classes available in Amazon S3? The storage classes that are available in the Amazon S3 are the following. Amazon S3 Glacier Instant Retrieval Storage Class. Amazon S3 Glacier Flexible Retrieval, formerly S3 Glacier, Storage Class. Amazon S3 Glacier Deep Archive, S3 Glacier Deep Archive S3 Outposts Storage Class. Amazon S3 Standard Infrequent Access, S3 Standard Ya Amazon S3 One Zone Infrequent Access, S3 One Zone Ya Amazon S3 Standard, S3 Standard Amazon S3 Reduced Redundancy Storage. Amazon S3 Intelligent Tiering, S3 Intelligent Tiering AWS Interview Questions for VPC. 36. What is Amazon Virtual Private Cloud, VPC, and why is it used? A VPC is the best way of connecting to your cloud resources from your own data center. Once you connect your data center to the VPC in which your instances are present, each instance is assigned a private IP address that can be accessed from your data center. That way, you can access your public cloud resources as if they were on your own private network. 37. VPC is not resolving the server through DNS. What might be the issue, and how can you fix it? To fix this problem, you need to enable the DNS hostname resolution, so that the problem resolves itself. 38. How do you connect multiple sites to a VPC? If you have multiple VPN connections, you can provide secure communication between sites using the AWS VPN Cloud Hub. Here's a diagram that will show you how to connect various sites to a VPC. Customer Gateway. 39. Name and explain some security products and features available in VPC. Here is a selection of security products and features. Security Groups. This acts as a firewall for the EC2 instances, controlling inbound and outbound traffic at the instance level. Network Access Control Lists. It acts as a firewall for the subnets, controlling inbound and outbound traffic at the subnet level. Flow Logs. These capture the inbound and outbound traffic from the network interfaces in your VPC. 40. How do you monitor Amazon VPC? You can monitor VPC by using Cloud Watch and Cloud Watch Logs. VPC Flow Logs. 41. How many subnets can you have per VPC? We can have up to 200 subnets per Amazon Virtual Private Cloud, VPC. Interested in becoming a cloud architect? Join our Cloud Architect Masters program and learn AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud Platform from the ground up. General AWS Interview Questions. 42. When would you prefer provisioned IOPS over standard RDS storage? You would use provisioned IOPS when you have batch-oriented workloads. Provisioned IOPS delivers high I/O rates, but it is also expensive. However, batch processing workloads do not require manual intervention. 43. How do Amazon RDS, Dynamode, and Redshift differ from each other? Amazon RDS is a database management service for relational databases. It manages patching, upgrading, and data backups automatically. It's a database management service for structured data only. On the other hand, DynamoDB is a NoSQL database service for dealing with unstructured data. Redshift is a data warehouse product used in data analysis. 44. What are the benefits of AWS's disaster recovery? Businesses use cloud computing in part to enable faster disaster recovery of critical IT systems without the cost of a second physical site. The AWS cloud supports many popular disaster recovery architectures ranging from small customer workload data center failures to environments that enable rapid failover at scale. With data centers all over the world, AWS provides a set of cloud-based disaster recovery services that enable rapid recovery of your IT infrastructure and data. 45. How can you add an existing instance to a new auto-scaling group? Here's how you can add an existing instance to a new auto-scaling group. Open EC2 console. Select your instance under Instances. Choose Actions, greater than Instance Settings, greater than attached to auto-scaling group. Select a new auto-scaling group. Attach this group to the instance. Edit the instance if needed. Once done, you can successfully add the instance to a new auto-scaling group. 46. What are the factors to consider while migrating to Amazon Web Services? Here are the factors to consider during AWS migration. Operational costs. These include the cost of infrastructure, ability to match demand and supply, transparency, and others. Workforce productivity. Cost avoidance. Operational resilience. Business agility. AWS Solutions Architect Certification Course. Your ticket to becoming a AWS Solutions Architect. Explore Course's Solutions Architect Certification Course. 47. What is RTO and RPO in AWS? RTO or Recovery Time Objective is the maximum time your business or organization is willing to wait for a recovery to complete in the wake of an outage. On the other hand, RPO or Recovery Point Objective is the maximum amount of data loss your company is willing to accept as measured in time. 48. If you would like to transfer vast amounts of data, which is the best option among Snowball, Snowball Edge, and Snowmobile? AWS Snowball is basically a data transport solution for moving high volumes of data into and out of a specified AWS region. On the other hand, AWS Snowball Edge adds additional computing functions apart from providing a data transport solution. The Snowmobile is an exabyte-scale migration service that allows you to transfer data up to 100 petabytes. 49. Explain what T2 instances are. The T2 instances are intended to give the ability to burst to a higher performance whenever the workload demands it and also provide a moderate baseline performance to the CPU. The T2 instances are general-purpose instance types and are low in cost as well. They are usually used wherever workloads do not consistently or often use the CPU. 50. What are the advantages of AWS IAM? AWS IAM allows an administrator to provide multiple users and groups with granular access. Various user groups and users may require varying levels of access to the various resources that have been developed. We may assign roles to users and create roles with defined access levels using IAM. It further gives us federated access, which allows us to grant applications and users access to resources without having to create IAM roles. 51. Explain connection draining. Connection draining is an AWS service that allows us to serve current requests on the servers that are either being decommissioned or updated. By enabling this connection draining, we let the load balancer make an outgoing instance finish its existing requests for a set length of time before sending it any new requests. A departing instance will immediately go off if connection draining is not enabled, and all pending requests will fail. 52. What is power user access in AWS? The AWS resources owner is identical to an administrator user. The administrator user can build, change, delete, and inspect resources, as well as grant permissions to other AWS users. Administrator access without the ability to control users and permissions is provided to a power user. A power user access user cannot provide permissions to other users but has the ability to modify, remove, view, and create resources. AWS questions for cloud formation. 53. How is AWS Cloud Formation different from AWS Elastic Beanstalk? Here are some differences between AWS Cloud Formation and AWS Elastic Beanstalk. AWS Cloud Formation helps you provision and describe all of the infrastructure resources that are present in your cloud environment. On the other hand, AWS Elastic Beanstalk provides an environment that makes it easy to deploy and run applications in the cloud. AWS Cloud Formation supports the infrastructure needs of various types of applications, like legacy applications and existing enterprise applications. On the other hand, AWS Elastic Beanstalk is combined with the developer tools to help you manage the life cycle of your applications. 54. What are the elements of an AWS Cloud Formation template? AWS Cloud Formation templates are YAML or JSON formatted text files that are comprised of 5 essential elements. They are: template parameters, output values, data tables, resources, file format version. 55. What happens when one of the resources in a stack cannot be created successfully? If the resource in the stack cannot be created, then the cloud formation automatically rolls back and terminates all the resources that were created in the cloud formation template. This is a handy feature when you accidentally exceed your limit of Elastic IP addresses or don't have access to an EC2 AMI. AWS Cloud Formation. AWS questions for Elastic Block Storage. 56. How can you automate EC2 backup using EBS? Use the following steps in order to automate EC2 backup using EBS. Get the list of instances and connect to AWS through API to list the Amazon EBS volumes that are attached locally to the instance. List the snapshots of each volume, and assign a retention period of the snapshot. Later on, create a snapshot of each volume. Make sure to remove the snapshot if it is older than the retention period. 57. What is the difference between EBS and Instant Store? EBS is a kind of permanent storage in which the data can be restored at a later point. When you save data in the EBS, it stays even after the lifetime of the EC2 instance. On the other hand, Instant Store is temporary storage that is physically attached to a host machine. With an Instant Store, you cannot detach one instance and attach it to another. Unlike in EBS, data in an Instant Store is lost if any instance is stopped or terminated. 58. Can you take a backup of EFS like EBS, and if yes, how? Yes, you can use the EFS to EFS backup solution to recover from unintended changes or deletion in Amazon EFS. Follow these steps. Sign into the AWS Management Console. Click the Launch EFS to EFS Restore button. Use the region selector in the console navigation bar to select region. Verify if you have chosen the right template on the Select Template page. Assign a name to your solution stack. Review the parameters for the template and modify them if necessary. How do you auto-delete old snapshots? Here's the procedure for auto-deleting old snapshots. As per procedure and best practices, take snapshots of the EBS volumes on Amazon S3. Use AWS Ops Automator to handle all the snapshots automatically. This allows you to create, copy, and delete Amazon EBS snapshots.